Now, as Regent and Chairman of the State of the Fraternity Committee, it's my duty and privilege to provide to you the State of the Fraternity Report. 2 years ago, we gathered in Boston. My good friend and predecessor as Regent, Brother Joe Gilman, shared with the Grand Chapter the fantastic results we achieved during the last biennium. Our attention then was focused on growth at all levels of the fraternity. Joe's motto was Semper ad altum, ever higher. Having successfully established our growth initiative, we're positioned to turn our attention to what I believe is the most critical factor to achieving our mission: the strength of our collegiate chapters. Simply put, a mediocre chapter cannot fully deliver the fraternity's mission to its members. If we're compelled to reach our mission, then we're compelled to meet our obligation to excellence. Here's how I said it 2 years ago after Joe and Stephen pinned me with the Regent's badge. A month after I spoke those words, our High Council, including 4 outstanding collegiate brothers, and our staff leadership team gathered high on a mountaintop in Rockbridge County, Virginia, to determine our plan for driving toward excellence. The day before our strategic planning meeting, I taped the following message to the fraternity in the Founders Room at our headquarters shrine. That weekend, we developed a clear and concise plan with 5 imperatives to drive our work toward our mission. Our highest imperative would be chapter strength, to ensure we have collegiate chapters capable of delivering our mission. Excellent chapters are smart chapters that teach their members the way of honor and give back to their communities. Our second imperative is excellence through education. Excellent chapters recruit the very best men. Our third imperative is recruitment. Excellent chapters have capable, involved alumni volunteers. Our fourth imperative is alumni involvement. And an excellent fraternity is one whose reputation for excellence is exemplified by interfraternal leadership and peer recognition. Our fifth imperative is reputation. Through these 5 imperatives, we set out to obliterate mediocrity and achieve our mission. So, how did we do? It's one thing to set a plan. It's another to achieve it, to execute upon it. We're going to see here. Let's begin with our reputation and imperative. We're the Legion of Honor. We're devoted to excellence. To preserve and further this reputation, our work, including our communications efforts, must be recognized as excellent, and our brothers must be involved as leaders in the interfraternal community. In the last 2 years, under the guidance of Nathaniel Clarkson, we have produced 9 special message videos and 64 blog posts on topics important to our success. In both years, we received significant positive reviews for our creation of the innovative 40 Answers in 40 Days anti-hazing campaign. The annual campaign leverages social media in the fight against hazing. In 2011, we received Outside the Classroom's Prevention Excellence Award for our significant efforts to fight the misuse of alcohol. In 2011, we received the Power of Association Silver Award from the American Society of Association Executives for our lead program evaluation. In 2011 and 2012, the Delta magazine, again under the leadership of Nathaniel Clarkson, received numerous awards from the Fraternity Communications Association, including Best Online Magazine, Best Persuasive Article, and Most Improved Publication. We produced 6 excellent issues of the Delta magazine in print and digital formats, and last year we completed a critically acclaimed full redesign of the print edition. When our work is excellent, everyone takes notice. We also strengthen our reputation when our brothers are leaders in the interfraternal community, locally and nationally. As a founding member of the North American Interfraternity Conference, the Fraternity Executives Association, and the FIPG Risk Management Group, Sigma Nu's legacy of interfraternal leadership is exceptional. These last 2 years have been reflective of this legacy. Almost half, and that's over 5,000, of our collegiate brothers are involved in other interfraternal activities on their campus. Almost half of our chapters currently have one or more brothers serving as an officer of their local interfraternity council. At the national level, these last 2 years have been outstanding. Past Regent, Brother Joe Gilman, is now chairman of the board of directors of hazingprevention.org. Brother Steve Ratterman serves on the board of the directors of FRMT, our captive insurance group. Brothers James Owens and Wells Ellenberg serve on the board of directors of the Fraternity and Sorority Political Action Committee. In 2010, Brother Howard Pickett became the 5th Sigma Nu brother to serve as the chairman of the North American Interfraternity Conference, the trade association for 75 leading men's fraternities. And just 48 hours ago, our executive director, Brad Beecham, became the president of the Fraternity Executives Association. And let's give Brad a hand for that achievement. Finally, brothers, one of our proudest moments of this biennium, and one of the proudest moments of my fraternal career, was one of our very own collegiate chapters. One of our 2010 Rock chapters was selected to receive the Award of Distinction from the North American Interfraternity Conference. Last April, our Mu chapter at the University of Georgia was selected from among 5,000 collegiate chapters as one of the very best. Brothers, I believe it's safe to say that we've preserved and furthered our reputation as the Legion of Honor this biennium. Now let's turn our attention toward alumni involvement. With more than 180,000 living alumni brothers, Sigma Nu is one of the largest men's fraternities in North America. Our imperative is to engage these brothers to support the success of our chapters and increase the value of lifetime membership. Our primary means of keeping alumni informed and interested in our fraternity is through our significant award-winning communications efforts. This biennium, we produced 9 special message videos and 6 issues of our award-winning Delta magazine in both digital and print formats. We're also using social media to extensively keep our alumni brothers engaged. We made 64 posts to our new official blog, added 8 videos to our YouTube channel, and uploaded more than 300 new photographs to our Flickr site. We have almost 14,000 Facebook fans and 5,000 Twitter followers. Our LinkedIn Sigma Nu group has grown to more than 5,500 members. Now, the last time Grand Chapter was in Dallas, Texas was 1992, and none of this existed. Flickr, YouTube, Facebook, none of it. Matter of fact, we got some people over here that don't even know what it is today, so that's fine too. So, and I'm one of them. I follow Stephen on Flickr. I got to be careful to see what he's saying on there, but anyway, but something that everybody can identify with. We have 106 active alumni chapters and 18 active alumni clubs. As alumni engage and remain interested in the fraternity, we must leverage that interest to provide alumni advisory support for every collegiate chapter. We know that our very best chapters are backed up by a team of alumni involved in advising and mentoring. Those best relationships are advisor and mentor relationship. It's not a boss-type relationship. Proper alumni advisory support provides the consistency and support needed to take a chapter from being good and occasionally great to being excellent, year in and year out. I'm delighted to report that we currently have 98% of chapter advisor positions filled, and we have an active alumni advisory board at 134 of our chapters, with 35 boards currently being developed. The number of alumni involved as volunteers for the fraternity has grown by more than 15% this biennium to a total of more than 1,700. Now, those who know me know my beliefs about the importance of recruitment. Successful recruitment of the very best men is absolutely critical to achieving our mission. Each of us here today is a leader in Sigma Nu. Each of us is here today because someone recruited us to become a Sigma Nu. The best organizations recruit the very best individuals to become part of their team. We've continued our focus on recruitment growth. We've continued to disprove the myth that you cannot have both quantity and quality. As a result of our collective efforts, brothers, we've grown collegiate fraternity membership from 9,500 2 years ago to 10,200 today. We've grown our average chapter size from 52 to 59. This is a tremendous growth rate and allows us to maintain our position as one of the largest Greek organizations in North America and allows us to deliver an exceptional membership experience. Our founders would be proud to know that since they clasped hands together on that momentous night some 143 years ago, that we have knighted more than 230,000 men. Our excellence through education imperative. To reach our mission of producing ethical leaders for society, Sigma Nu must provide programs and opportunities that allow for the complete education of our brothers, both inside and outside the classroom. We must also encourage and support academic excellence and also provide superior development programs and opportunities. We call this excellence through education. Sigma Nu launched its award-winning LEAD program in 1988. Today, it remains the only multi-phase ethical leadership development program in the Greek world. In response to member demand, the entire LEAD program curriculum is now available online, providing collegiate members on-demand access to the program. This year, 97% of our collegiate chapters implemented the LEAD program. This is good news because we know that the LEAD program works based on the independent evaluation of the program that's done every 2 years by George Mason University. If we are to continue to educate and inspire our brothers, we must preserve and make accessible our rich heritage. Thanks to the fantastic work of our grand historian, Brother Bob McCulley, we have greatly improved the environment in which our historical items and documents are stored. And Bob has brought our history to life through a series of articles in the Delta magazine. Most recently, the entire archive of the Delta magazine was digitized, and we produced a special edition of the story of Sigma Nu to honor the 75th anniversary of this classic Sigma Nu history book. Educating a modern-day ethical leader means arming him with the information he needs to combat the most common forms of misconduct on college campuses today. Sigma Nu has always been a leader in this field. This biennium has been no different. Sigma Nu partnered with leading experts and a number of other key Greek organizations several years ago to create an effective online program called Greek Life EDU to combat the occurrence of hazing, alcohol misuse, and sexual assault. This biennium, we witnessed a record number of collegiate chapters benefiting from the program, as more than 9,500 of our collegiate members participated in Greek Life EDU. Currently, 85% of our collegiate membership has completed the program. While this program is fundamental to our efforts, it's only the beginning of our work. Our comprehensive anti-hazing campaign continued. We continued our sponsorship of hazingprevention.org and National Hazing Prevention Week. We pioneered the use of social media to fight hazing with our 40 Answers in 40 Days campaign, designed to bust one of the most common myths about hazing. We published 14 issues of our new risk reduction newsletter and published white papers on the most common risk management situations faced by most collegiate chapters. We released a new lead session on alcohol misuse prevention, and we released a new video called Don't Play Doctor, designed to increase awareness of the signs of alcohol overdose. For all these efforts, we received the Prevention Excellence Award in 2011 from outside the classroom. More than the awards that we received, the most important takeaway from all this is that we never, as a high council, had to deal with the situation of the death of a brother from alcohol misuse. Our collegiate chapters remain highly competitive academically within the Greek community, with an all-fraternity grade point average ranging from 2.86 to 2.91, and 60 to 67% of our chapters meeting or exceeding the all-men's average on their campus. In addition to being scholars and having a high social intelligence, our mission calls upon each of us to be a servant leader, dedicated to serving others and improving our community. Gentlemen, I could not be more proud of our accomplishments in this arena. This biennium, we witnessed new records across the board. 122 chapters participated in our Helping Hand initiative, a new record. Over the course of this biennium, our collegiate chapters raised more than $1.2 million for charitable purposes and donated more than 240,000 hours of community service. Both are new records, and I think you should stand and give yourselves a hand for that effort. Those charitable efforts have done more to enhance the reputation of our fraternity and the Greek system more than anything else. In one of our special message videos, I spoke about how most uninformed people would speak of the Greek community and they have stereotypical images of us, but in that special message, I taped it, I guess it was in late November of 2010, and the day of the Friday before the Georgia Tech game, Mu and Gamma Alpha participated in a game ball run, and it was not very good weather. It was cold, and it was raining. In that message, I pointed out that those who would take shots at us for our way of life, take those shots while they're sitting on the comfort of their couch in the warmth of their living room. And those 200 young men pounded 75 miles of Georgia asphalt in the cold driving rain. And that did more for our image than anything those fat folks on the couch ever did. One of the proudest moments of my Regency was announcing our newest Helping Hand partner, the American Heart Association, which is dedicated to lowering the occurrence of heart disease and stroke. In support of the Heart Association and one of our most prominent alumni, Sigma Nu is now a sponsor of the annual Paul Bear Bryant Coaching Awards, with proceeds going to the Heart Association. This award recognizes the outstanding college football coach of the year. I was in Tuscaloosa last September at the Theta chapter home to make that announcement. One of the interesting elements of that day in Tuscaloosa, we'd been speaking with Mark Tyson, who's Coach Bryant's grandson, and with Coach Bryant's son, Paul Bryant, who's commander at the Theta chapter in 1965. The fact that we were coming, we were going to give this, make this announcement, and University of Alabama arranged a press conference for us. We didn't prompt, lead, or coach Mark Tyson in anything he said. His words about ethical leadership were his words. We didn't tell him to say that. That was one of the most impactful things to me that day, and a lot of us were down there that day, that Mark Tyson, even though he's been out of school now probably close to 30 years, that's what his image and his family's image, and this is a family with an image of excellence. That's what they think when they think of Sigma Nu fraternity. Brothers, we should all take pride, great pride, in being part of the Legion of Honor, where we take our mission seriously and are truly dedicated to developing ethical leaders. And so now we move to and arrive at our highest strategic imperative, chapter strength. There's nothing more critical to our mission than the strength of our collegiate chapters. All the work of this great fraternity this biennium, which I've described to you tonight, has been undertaken for a singular purpose: to strengthen our collegiate chapters. Regardless of your chapter size or location, there is no honor in mediocrity. Ethical leadership demands accountability. So there's even more that we have, more than what we've done to support our drive toward excellence. Our team of leadership consultants, and they're here tonight in the back here, the guys in the blue shirts. Our team of leadership consultants has traveled this great continent for the last 2 years with a singular focus on assisting our chapters in improving their operations. This year, 99% of our collegiate chapters received 2 consultant visits. These admirable young men conducted more than 5,700 meetings with chapter officers and alumni volunteers and conducted more than 850 educational workshops for collegiate chapter brothers. 78% of the chapters responded to our post-consultant visit survey and rated the effectiveness of the consultant's visit a 3.67 on a 4.0 scale. We conducted 24 regional Sigma Nu Institutes for chapter officers to come together and learn from one another how to be more effective at their job and improve their chapter. Almost 900 collegiate members participated in the institutes and rated the effectiveness of the institutes a 3.59 on a 4.0 scale. A new protocol was designed and implemented to support and hold accountable those chapters deficient in 50% or more of normal operational efforts. And you collegiate members know, and for those of you not collegiate members, we rank all these chapters in operational areas, and you can get anywhere from a -30 to a +30 as your score. In the first year of implementation, this says a lot about what we got done. In the first year of the implementation, 90% of the chapters improved their operations sufficiently to complete the protocol. They're now on the road toward excellence. Believing that the effectiveness of the chapter commander is perhaps the most critical factor in the success of his chapter, the College of Chapters curriculum was redesigned to become an annual conference for all chapter commanders. Commanders from all over the country came together with key alumni volunteers and staff members to prepare themselves to lead their chapter to excellence. Many of those commanders who were with us in St. Louis are in the room tonight, and if you were in St. Louis, I'd ask you to stand and be recognized. Those of you who are returning tonight from St. Louis, who was here in St. Louis? Good number of y'all. Thank you. Changing up College of Chapters was, as some of us have described, it was a glass-breaking event. We'd had another form of College of Chapters held in Lexington every other summer, but the time we were in called for a different format. It was somewhat controversial, but the results of this, where the ratings of this program received from the commanders, proved it out. Here's some excerpts from the keynote speeches at College of Chapters. One of my first actions as Regent was to appoint a special task force of our very best alumni volunteers. I refer to them as our best operators. My charge to them was to study Sigma Nu's very best collegiate practices and to identify the best practices that make these chapters great. Task Force Hopkins. The Task Force Hopkins members, I think all but one of them were able to be here tonight. I'd like to ask Chairman John Hearn and the rest of Task Force Hopkins, where you please stand and be recognized for the great work that y'all did this last biennium. Task Force Hopkins. And gentlemen, this is where the rubber met the road. It didn't make sense for us to have 180 chapters and 5 or 6 of them to be operating at a level of excellence, probably another 30 or 40 of them to be getting close to excellence, but nobody knows how they were doing it. These men on Task Force Hopkins went out and found out how excellence was being attained. In most cases, excellence was being attained in their own chapter, so they had an easy way to find out about it. But they went out and they dug and they prodded and they collected, they analyzed, and they distributed the best practices to make them available to everyone. They created the best practices library. At all these different interfraternal functions that Joe and Charlie and I and Brad have been to, especially the ones that Charlie and I and Brad have been to since the creation of the Best Practice Library, we've had representatives from just about every national fraternity approach us and commend us and rave about the Best Practices Library. This is a game changer for us. The Best Practices Library is a user's manual, an owner's manual for excellence. And again, to kind of show you the differentiating factors out there, for those of you who are in St. Louis, remember we were in St. Louis, we showed up for the College of Chapters, and we got everybody registered, and we hit the ground running. We got to work. Well, we got the curriculum of one of our competitors who was also in St. Louis that same weekend. You remember what I said about what we were up to? We weren't in St. Louis to play fraternity. We're there to build ethical leaders. We hit the ground. We put our chapter commanders in the rooms with Task Force Hopkins to learn excellent practices. One of our competitors spent 2.5 hours swapping T-shirts. I find it hard. I'm yet to find the excellence in that. Maybe somebody will tell me where it is. And then, at the last NIC meeting, the national president of one of our competitors came up to me and just raved on and on about the Best Practices Library. I'm not going to mention this fraternity, but when I tell you the rest of the story, you'll probably have 3 or 4 ideas of who it might have been. This guy goes on and on for like 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes about this Best Practice Library. It's great. It's got some great ideas in there. I spend 15, 20 minutes a day looking at it myself, but said, there's one part I need you to show me where to find. I said, what's that? He says, where's the part about the T-shirts? Guys, I don't know. Maybe I'm 55 and I'm lost on this, but I have yet to see the value in swapping T-shirts. I don't think any of our rock chapters are going to stand up here tonight and say, we are here tonight because we swap T-shirts. They're going to say, we're here tonight because we operate at a level of effectiveness. That's the difference between us and some of our competitors out there. Now, this library, for those of you not familiar with it, it's a collection of the practices that have made chapters great and can make any chapter great. These practices come from chapters east and west, north and south. They're from private schools and public schools. The library provides a roadmap to any chapter that sincerely wants to improve itself and attain excellence. After launching the library in January 2011, it quickly became the most visited portion of our website, and today is still the part of our website where visitors stay the longest. If you want to know how to make your chapter excellence, start at the Best Practices Library. As you can already conclude, we've clearly strengthened our fraternity these last 2 years. We've preserved and burnished our reputation as a leader in the Greek world. We've engaged alumni brothers in meaningful ways. We've recruited more excellent men and initiated more excellent men. We provided our brothers with a complete education and supported their academic pursuits. So how does all this trickle down to chapter strength? Let's look to the performance in our Pursuit of Excellence program to answer that question. And here's where the answers are. This program was created in 2002 to accomplish 2 things. First, we wanted to clearly define Sigma Nu's minimum expectations for chapter performance. And second, we wanted to drive each chapter toward excellence. The Pursuit of Excellence program does both by defining our excellence criteria and then measuring the performance of each chapter against that criteria annually. I cannot be more pleased to report to you tonight that over the course of this biennium, the total number of deficiencies in the program has decreased by 14%. And understand that it's not unusual for chapters to have deficiencies. But those number of deficiencies decreased by 14%. Here's the number. The average rating of all our chapters. And again, your chapter could come in at a -30 or a +30. You tell me anything in the United States over the last 2 years that's up in double digits, other than unemployment and bankruptcies. Our average chapter performance, and you think about this, you can only get a 30. If you are a rock chapter and you're already at 27, 28, 29, you can't move much. There's not that big a percentage improvement you can make. Even considering all that, our average chapter improved by 24% in the last biennium. That is an amazing number. As you'll see in just a few minutes, more of our chapters have achieved rock chapter status. Brothers, thanks to the hard work and dedication to all of you, we are meeting our obligation to excellence. Tomorrow, you're going to hear from our Finance Committee led by Grand Treasurer Tim Huffmeyer. We've accomplished, when you hear from the Finance Committee, you're going to see that we've accomplished all this while remaining fiscally sound, which, as Mike Duncan can tell you, is not that easy to do in the business that we're in here. This is one of the secrets of excellence. When you achieve it, many benefits come along with it. And when you hear Tim's report tomorrow, this is going to be, as Charlie would say, amazing. While our progress has been significant, we've only just begun. We still have too many deficiencies and too many chapters. We still have too many brothers and chapters who violate our policies, laws, and principles. We can do better even than we have done this biennium. We must improve further if we are to honor the oath that we've made to the Legion of Honor. We must stay disciplined. 2 years ago in Boston, I recited the creed of a university, not my alma mater, but one that I have a great affinity for. It's the host university for one of our oldest and best chapters. I've repeated this creed probably every public speaking opportunity I've had in the last 2 years. Not because of what I feel about this college, this university, but you think about the words of this creed. It'd be interesting to hear a political candidate say these words. But I said these words in Boston. I said we need to keep them close to us and operate by them. Listen to these words. I believe that this is a practical world, that I can on what I earn. Therefore, I believe in work, hard work. I said in Boston that this biennium, that we would work hard, that we would work together, and that we would work efficiently. And at the end of the biennium, we would come together and celebrate our successes. And we have done all those things. We've worked hard, we've worked smart, we've worked together, and now is the time to celebrate those successes. In just a few minutes, we're going to show you in the flesh the real winners. In closing, I'd like to thank the members of the High Council. And again, you guys, if you'd please stand, members of the current High Council, including Collegiate Grand Councilman. Stand and remain standing. I'd like to thank all the alumni volunteers that are here with us tonight. The division commanders. Division commanders, please stand. Remain standing. I'd like to thank the board of directors of the Sigma Nu Educational Foundation that are here with us tonight. If they would please stand. I'd like to thank the past regents, the past High Council members. And I'd like to thank Executive Director Brad Beecham, Director of Fraternal Operations Tim Braddock, and the rest of our stellar fraternal staff. If you'd please stand and be recognized. Staff, please stand.